Finally, I am opening my Origami Etsy shop. I do apologise if it's taken this long, which it has. I have mentioned it so many times in the past couple of months that I was going to be opening a shop, selling paper. Link is in the description if you want to go and check it out. But this video is going to go over a few things that I just want to talk about. So the first thing is the paper I will be selling and the paper I won't be selling. Paper I will be selling is pre-made sheets at the moment. So these are pre-cut squares of Lupche. This is a full sheet of non-Lupche. So they will already be pre-made. So I won't be selling single tissue and double tissue at the moment. I won't be doing orders of those where you can order X amount, simply because I want to get more comfortable with doing some sales at the moment, just to get used to it, just to get the hang of it, just to see how it actually works, and so I can get more comfortable with the process. So these are Lupche. I made 16 sheets at the moment. I did take 3 of them out because I really wanted to use them, and I really want to use this brown one, which is number 3. This is a really nice paper. And if you don't already know, Lupche has super shiny on one side, rich colours, not shiny on the other side. I'm not sure how to actually go about explaining that. Again, they come in a wide variety of colours. Quite hard to show the paper. It did take quite a few attempts to get good pictures of this to put on the shop, so hopefully you can see them alright. And again, double coloured as well. For the last two, I made 2 like green and white. On the other side, that's the same paper I used for the Caribou by Shuki Kato. Obviously just a different colour. Same with this one. So these are all pre-cut squares. Now I cut my squares, especially these ones, as close to a perfect square as possible without making any extra creases. So we don't have any extra diagonals or horizontals, whatever. So it's basically as close as perfect as possible. These are already good for insects, all ready to go. But again, it's entirely up to you. If you want to trim them up slightly more, they won't be off by much. They are close to as perfect as possible. As I mentioned, this is how my squares always turn out. They are never perfect when I cut my own squares, so that's the reason I've cut them like this, so you don't get any extra creases. Now, a few examples. We have the Whip Spider by Kotaima. Again, this is one of the sheets of Lupche I used from this that I took out. Again, so happy with the paper. You can see with the amount of layers in this crease pattern. Hey, I'll let you in a second, buddy. With the amount of layers in this crease pattern, you can shrink it down extremely thin to get this really nice result. And we also have the one you've probably seen before, Kota's other insect, with a very confusing and complicated name. So again, really thin. The paper shrinks down extremely well when you shape. What I will also be selling is my new crease patterns for my new models. If you can't already tell what they are sort of versions of the Pokemon gym badges. Now, what I love about these is they are completely random folded models. So I started off with a square and randomly folded and ended up making this. Now the cool thing about these models is they all start from the same base, so that way it's easier to drop later on. So both of these models are on sale as well, the crease patterns. I have designed the third one. Where is it? I put it somewhere. No, I'm not sure where it is. I'll show it in a second, probably. So I'm currently drawing the crease pattern for the third one, and then trying to get a good picture of the model as well. I forgot to do that with the one I made, because I unfolded it, then drew the crease pattern, and realised that I didn't take any pictures of it. So crease patterns will be on sale. They're all made from 22.5 degrees, angle bisectors, 90 degrees from intersections or the edges of paper. So that way, if I do design something like this, and it's easy to replicate. I'm hoping to design another 3, so I'll have 6 in total. I've got 3 now, hoping to have 6 by April next year. That's a good deadline for me. It pushes myself to try and design. So these 2 badges will be digital downloads. So once you purchase one of these, you will get the full crease pattern, high quality coloured crease pattern, red as mountain, blue as valley fold. You will also get 3 extra files which show like the wireframe and how it's collapsed, what it looks like when it's collapsed, and of course the coloured version of what it looks like when it's collapsed to help you follow along. At the moment I am only going to be putting up a few sheets on my store at first. That way it just helps me to get used to the process of how it actually works, how the orders get processed, what happens when someone purchases one, and so on. So once I get used to doing that, I will be putting them up more regularly and obviously making more. Now once the weather gets better, I will be doing orders for single tissue and double tissue. The reason I'm not doing them now is because the weather is really cold and it honestly takes about 3/4 days for a sheet to be made. So I don't want you to be waiting 20 days upwards just to get your paper, whereas you could be waiting only a week. So that's the reason I'm not going to be doing that at the moment and only be selling pre-cut and made sheets. That is the end of this video. I hope I explained everything well. If you're not too sure yet, please leave your comment. I will do my best to answer them as best as possible. And if you do purchase anything of mine, share your results to what you make with my paper, and of course give me your feedback on it. I'm really interested to see how you think and feel about it. So that is it everyone, thank you so much for watching, and that is it.